Speaking about running the board, I'm so excited. Backed by popular demand, my good friend Mark Livingstone, cornerstonefirst.com. Go to cornerstonefirst.com, Cornerstone First Financial. Hey, Mark, great to have you, man.
Hey, my friend, great to be here, coming at you live from the nation's capital. How are you, Don?
Big time, man. Nation's capital. Now, as you know, Mark has had over 21 years of experience in the mortgage industry, and he's received numerous awards for his professionalism and contributions. He's a member of many organizations, but the thing is, he's the guy. If you want a mortgage, this is the guru. This is the man who's going to get you the best deal out there, and he's going to do it in an expeditious manner because he's independent and he works. He's got everybody working for him, and this guy's the guy, man. Let me tell you now. I got to get to politics, then we're going to get into what's new, trends and all that. Last time we talked, I told you Trump was going to be the nominee. Hey, man, nobody's going to beat him. What do you think?
I'm impressed. I'm listening to you. I can only say that I hope you're right. And it's exciting. Right now, Donald Trump is making politics exciting, getting a lot of those that otherwise would be on the sidelines, off the sidelines. I think there were 24 million viewers watching the debate, more than ever in history, and I think a lot of that was because of Donald Trump and what he brings to the table and the excitement, and just really, I'm loving it. I love it. I'm watching it on a daily basis.
I tell you what, it's a lot of fun covering it, and he came out. They were criticizing him. They said, "Oh, you're not coming out with any serious plans. It's all imagery." He just came out with, I thought, was one of the most comprehensive immigration plans I've ever seen. Disagree with it or not is moot. It's a plan that you have to debate on his terms. So I think it's going to be interesting. Mark, you know what? We're in a topsy-turvy environment here. A lot of people looking at refis, what to do. A lot of people trying to get a mortgage. People getting turned down by traditional banks right and left. Tell us, what is trending right now in your industry?
Well, what's happening, John, and as I routinely speak about on your show, is that as your listeners know, there's so much happening within the economy that's impacting these interest rates. We started off the year 2015 with the lowest rates we've seen in 2.5 years, and that was primarily due to what was happening over in Europe. Well, then, with the quantitative easing ending in Europe, we went back to what's going on here here in the U.S., and that is, to be honest, just the economy is doing better. And we're seeing housing starts, construction, all of the signs are pointing that the economy is picking up steam. The Fed has been saying that they're going to raise the short-term interest rates, which then ultimately will raise the mortgage interest rates once the Fed sees that the economy has stabilized. Well, July pretty much said, hey, not too quick, Fed, because there were other signs that were indicating the economy is not doing as well as everybody thought. Oil prices are down to a 6-year low. But today, John, the Fed is going to release the minutes from their July meeting, and there are some panicky people out there thinking that they're going to indicate that most likely in September they're going to raise these short-term interest rates. What does that mean for your listeners? That means that interest rates could and very likely will start going up. Now, just like you're predicting Trump, I'm predicting that they will not raise the rates in September, but hear me out, I think they will by the end of the year. So what that means is that interest rates right now for Fannie Mae loans, Freddie Mac loans are 4%, 4.03. And the government loans for FHA, VA are a little bit lower at 3 3/4. But I think that give it probably not September, but I'd say October, November, we're going to see enough stabilization within the economy that those rates will go up 1/4 to 0.5%. So right now is the time if you're thinking about refinancing. Right now is the time if you're going to pull the trigger to upgrade and move into a new home or switch from renting. Now is the time because these interest rates are not going to wait for you. You've got to get on the bus now. The train is leaving the station. The bus is leaving that station, John.
Time is running out. We're with Mark Livingstone. He's the head honcho at Cornerstone First Financial. He's the guy you want to go to for a mortgage or refi. I agree with your prediction. Mortgage rates are going to have to go up because the Fed has to raise these rates. They cannot stay artificially suppressed forever. Just give people an example. If Feds raise the rates, mortgage goes up 0.5%, right? Doesn't really seem like much. Yeah, it's only 0.5%, no big deal. No reason to act now, right? How much is 0.5%? If I'm getting a $300,000 mortgage, 0.5%, how much is that?
Well, let's say right now, $300,000 principal and interest on a 30-year loan. The principal and interest of the loan is going to be $1,432. Okay, on a $300,000 at 4.5%, that principal and interest is going to go up to $1,520. So it's about $90 difference that 0.5% means. And although that may not seem like a lot, sure it is. When you're talking about debt-to-income ratios,
right?
I mean, lenders are very specific. I had a loan that was turned down because the FHA dictates that you can't go over 45% debt-to-income ratio. What the debt-to-income ratio is the amount of money you have coming in, gross, versus the amount of money you have going out for housing, car allowance, credit cards, whatever it is. It can't go above 45%. And if it does, then guess what? You don't qualify for that loan, and you have to take a lower loan amount. So ultimately what that means is with interest rates going up, that the customer is going to qualify for less money.
Now, let me ask you this, Mark, and then I've got to go to a word from our sponsors. Mark Livingstone with us, Cornerstone First Financial. By the way, for more info, go to cornerstonefirst.com, cornerstonefirst.com. Mark, why should people call you up? I mean, look, they can go to their local bank, right? There's all kind of, everybody goes to one of these networking meetings. There's, 19 guys there with mortgage companies handing you their card or whatever. Why should they call you?
Great question. The reason they should call Cornerstone First Financial, John, is because we are an independent licensed mortgage broker. And what that means is that we have 22 different lenders that we can shop your loan and get the absolute lowest rate. I say on my radio commercials, we'll meet or beat any competitor. And the way that we do that is because we go with these lenders who are offering rates. They don't advertise like PNC, Wells Fargo, these big-name banks on Main Street. They offer the lowest rates to channels like Cornerstone First Financial. And so I will take any customer that calls and figure out what his scenario is, whether he's got great credit, challenged credit, low loan-to-value, high loan-to-value, and then place them with the absolute lowest rate and closing costs. I'm working on behalf of the customer, and I've got 22 years. I've got a gentleman in my office who's got 30 years experience in the mortgage industry. It's a win-win, and I again, if you're working with someone else, call us and make sure you're getting the best deal for you and your family before you make that decision, because 99% of the times we're going to save you money on closing costs or get you a lower interest rate.
The bottom line is you can't lose. Even if you're looking at something else right now, or you're working with somebody else, or you're in the middle of it, call Mark, call Cornerstone First Financial, 202-625-1221, 202-625-1221, 202-625-1221, because you have absolutely nothing to lose except pay a lower rate. Mark, I want to get to what's going on now in the VA and what some of the opportunities are.
Excellent. Well, with that said, I wanted to tell you a specific example of one of your listeners that I'm working with down there in Norfolk, Virginia. And I called and got his permission to use his name and his scenario, your friend and mine. And when I told him that I was going to mention him on the radio, John, he said, make sure you tell John that I love him. I listen to him as much as I can. Jim Morgan, who is a veteran down there in Norfolk, Virginia, is doing a cash-out refinance with a VA loan. Now, this allows him to go to 100% of the value of his home. No other product does this, okay? And if you go above 80%, on any other loan, you're going to have what's called the mortgage insurance. That doesn't benefit the customer at all. It's only benefiting the mortgage company. But VA specifically has this program that allows these veterans to go to 100% of the value of their home, cash out. Jim's house appraised for $190,000. He's paying off his first mortgage of $137,000, a second mortgage of $40,000, and he's taking $20,000 to pay off credit cards. saving him over $375 a month. The interest rate that we got him locked in at is 3.75, 3.75, John. And at that rate, Cornerstone is able to pay 90% of his closing costs. That's unbelievable. The other thing is that because Jim has a service-related disability, there's no funding fee. Although VA does not have monthly mortgage insurance, they do have an upfront funding fee. But because of his service disability, there's no funding fee, and Jim is taking that to the bank. So it's just an example. And you asked earlier what the difference between Cornerstone and some of the local banks are. Mm-hmm. Most banks, A, don't go below a 640 credit score. Cornerstone will go down to a 580. Most banks, B, do not allow the 100% cash-out program, cash in hand, okay? And we do. You know, I search as the owner for specific products that I then can offer to, John, your listeners, our customers up here in D.C., and by doing that, I know without a doubt that when something new comes down the pike, Cornerstone is on top of it, which we then can offer it to your listeners, to our customers, which makes us just ahead of the rest.
I tell you, that's unbelievable, and I want to thank those kind words from Jim Morgan. And look, I'm so happy that I hooked you guys up because it sounds like you saved Jim about $400,000, almost $400,000 a month, what he's paying now. Plus, he got cash out, so he's saving on that. So that went down. So his disposable income went up dramatically, and he's got a much better deal. And
that's right.
I mean,
and the interest that he's taking on the credit cards, the interest on credit cards is not tax deductible. By wrapping that into the mortgage, it's now tax deductible. So that's like, because he's saving almost $400 a month, that's like a pay increase right there, $4,800 a year. So you and I just knocked on his front door. Hello, sir. Would you like a pay increase of $4,800 a year? Who's going to say no to that?
No, and then you take the deductible from the mortgage. Right. It's like it's probably like over $5,000. I mean, that's
there you go.
Look, my mom is on a fixed income right now. If I called up her and said, I can get you an extra $5,000, she'd be like, where do I sign? So that's absolutely the way to go. Now, what you have to do is you got to get off the dime. And you just heard this story. This is a great guy. He's been with me forever. Mark's one of our founding sponsors. The John Fredericks Show wouldn't be on the air without him. Great guy. But you got to pick up the phone and take action. Just check it out. Just have a dialogue. Maybe he can help you. Maybe he cannot. But you got no downside, especially if you're a veteran. 202-625-1221. 202-625-1221. Or you can go to cornerstonefirst.com. Cornerstonefirst.com. And I can assure you that Mark Livingstone is going to make your phone call worthwhile. Mark, I got about a minute. Final words here.
Final words are, I love working with your listeners. It's almost like there's such a difference when your listeners down there in Virginia and up here in D.C. What do you think that is, John? I don't know, but I love working with your listeners. If you're not even sure if there's something we can do, call us and see if there's something we can do. We offer reverse mortgages for seniors. That's hot. The VA loans, FHA down, USDA, all of it. So give us a call. Again, we can offer you programs that your local bank cannot. So even if you've been turned down, call us. And if you still have challenged credit and we can't help you, we can at least give you a path, a direction to get where you want, whether it's 3, 6, 8 months down the road. So call us. We have loan officers in the office right now, 202-625-1221. Our website is cornerstonefirst.com. And, give us a call. I'll be in the office in an hour. You can ask directly for me or one of our loan officers.
Thanks for being with us, Mark. Thank you so much.